Welcome to our Personnel Commission meeting, regular meeting for July 11th. It is 4:06 and opening the meeting. First thing, roll call. All three of our commissioners are in attendance. And 2.02 order of business. Does anybody wish to change anything on the agenda? Move anything around, or are we good to go?
By me.
Good to go. All right. So then that will bring us to correspondence received, 2.03, and I don't believe we have any correspondence.
We've not received any correspondence at this time.
Right. 2.04, public communication. This is an opportunity for anyone in the public to address the commission, and there's a 3-minute maximum. Is there anybody out there who would like to address the commission?
If anybody would like to address the commission, go ahead and raise your hand. Is that Rob?
Yes, hi there. I'm unsure if I'm on the agenda, but if not, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a few words.
Hey, Rob, you are on the agenda. You're going to be right in the next item 205
Okay,
under the
thank you.
oral reports.
All right, I'll step back. Yep.
Great, welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else out there? Hearing and seeing none, we will move on then to 2.05 oral reports. So we usually start with our union representative reports.
This is your moment, Rob.
Yep.
Okay, had to make sure I get it off mute button so you don't hear the dogs and cats crying for dinner. Okay. So hello everybody. My name's Rob and I work for SEIU 620. We're located in Santa Maria and we have 30 different work sites in Santa Barbara County and SLO County, and one of our best work sites is the San Luis Coastal Unified School District. We represent the bus drivers, the lunch program, grounds and maintenance, and the custodials. And so just wanted to introduce myself, say hi to everybody. We're quite pleased with the HR department and with Ryan Pinkerton with his efforts to offer full benefits and services to all of our staff. So just wanted to keep you posted on some of my activities lately. So this week, yesterday I met with most of the custodial workers and provided break goodies to them, and then I'll come back tomorrow to SLO to meet with the grounds crew. Later in the month and starting in the first part of August, I'll meet with the bus drivers as well as the lunch program and then the other custodials. So we're making our effort trying to get the word out that we are here and we're on the same team as HR and the entire school district, including the personnel board, in that we want happy employees who are members, and then I know that's what the school district wants as well. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody and feel free to give me a call anytime, and we've got some interesting topics we're working on for the future, but we're trying hard to hear everybody's words, and thank you.
Great, I appreciate the update. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us, and definitely spread the word if any of the members there, would like to join in on any of our meetings. We are always open and available.
All right. Yeah, we have about 80 members at the moment, so we're quite pleased with the work site and what we're attempting to do. And we're also reaching out to CSCA. We have a good working relationship with them. We share ideas and thoughts. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any other union reps out there? Nope, okay. Moving on to staff reports.
All right. You want to go first, Greg? You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, couple quick updates. So we closed, opened, recruited, tested, oral board, and already closed and hired the executive assistant position since the last time that we met. So it was an extremely competitive recruitment. We're going to announce the name at a later date. You got the chair. You never know who it's going to be. not quite public information just yet. We're working on messaging, but we're really excited about it. And so this will be the executive assistant to Alicia Mashida, the assistant superintendent of education services. Teresa Braden has moved into a position at the foundation. And so her and Christine Robertson will be working together and doing some the great work that the foundation is doing together. All of our big trainings are coming up. So all the prep season for all the welcome back stuff is happening. So we're partnering again with the superintendent's office for clerical in service. So Mandy Dawson, the executive assistant to Dr. Prater, and myself have met a few times. We were going over slides. Lupe's been amazing and helping us getting that organized and narrowed down and doing a lot of the legwork on it. So we're getting that organized. The date has been moved up to July 31st. I don't know if that was effective the last time we met or not. So it was originally going to be August 9th, and so it's July 31st to be more inclusive of all of our clerical staff and flexible. The first week of August is their enrollment deadlines, and it's always a struggle. So this year we moved it up a little bit to make it a little more accessible for our clerical staff. So we're working on that together with them. New hire orientation, so Mr. Puccia, Lupe, his admin assistant, the whole HR staff is working on getting this coordinated, obviously primarily headed up by the two of them, and the rest of us are supporting and just getting the workshops created, partnering with our other leadership teams and managers to make sure that we're getting all the data that we need to compliance-wise, and then just some more proactive, helpful things that you actually need when you start. So getting that organized for new hire orientation. Mr. Puccia and myself are also going to be coordinating on new manager orientation. That takes place a little later in August. So it's kind of our A, B, and C. That's a little bit later. We do have 2, 3, 4 new classified managers that will be attending this year. So we're really excited to welcome them in, and I'm excited to see Mr. Puccia spin on this super fun meeting season, as it's always very exciting. So we're looking forward to getting to work with them. I did connect with Jeff Martin on the summer experience program, and so if it is agreeable to the commission, he'd love to present at the August meeting and give you guys an update. There was a lot of really cool and interesting changes with summer experience this year that really paid out in dividends. So he was honored to be asked and excited to share. So I told him I would get back to him and confirm a date with him after talking with you guys today. Staff has been working on updating the merit guidelines and information for testing. So in an effort to make it more uniform, the notifications going out inviting people to exams and what information that contains, the invitation to oral boards, the invitation to hiring, what their ranking is, all of that language, just making sure that we're all communicating the exact same way so there's no inequities, giving them rubrics, giving them advance notice. As you guys will remember last year, we removed applications from the oral board panel, and so we're sharing out a template and just making sure that everybody's including an information when we're telling them that they have time to come review the questions in advance. So for example, you'll write down your answers differently if you think somebody has seen your work history versus if you know that they haven't. So just making sure we're giving them ample notification of all that stuff. So that's been great. Elisa and Lindsay and Tracy and Mr. Puccia and myself met about that, about the accelerated hiring rate, just a couple things to just make sure that all of our classified side of the house is on the same page. So that's been great. For our classified staff, so it's also report season, new hire season, onboarding season, the fun culmination of summer that we talk about every year. And this year I really have to give credit to staff. They have been so proactive, so ahead of it, like beating deadlines by week, getting ahead of it so that payroll can be ahead of it. And a huge shout out to payroll, especially our lead payroll specialist, Barbara Bixman, has been so proactive that just when we have to take all this data on our end, we're processing it and we have to feed it into the payroll machine over there. It is a well-oiled machine. They have a great team over there and they're working really hard, and they've caught things, fixed things before it became stuff that was huge. And so they've been amazing partners this summer. And so it's been, besides the construction and the hecticness of that piece, it's been one of our smoothest summers in my time here. So the payroll side of the house, and then obviously our HR team as well has been very, very impressive this year. And that's it for me.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to thank everybody for the warm welcome. It's been it's been this entire week. I was here a couple of days last week, just kind of getting settled in, and then I had to head back to Los Angeles to pack it up and get up here. But the team has been great. I'm really excited to begin to really understand the individual work that we're all doing, and then how that all culminates for us to be really effective. We've talked a little bit about how we can provide a little bit more of an outward facing public relations, if you will, related to the merit system and how merit works, and particularly the recruitment and hiring process. Because I think a lot of times our principals, especially, because we move a little bit more briskly on the certificated side when we're able to recruit and hire, and so really going to spend some time with them this year, having them understand just a kind of a basic calendar of what you can expect when you are hiring a classified employee. So that's something we're going to begin to work on. Another thing I'd really like to work on, with the PC's guidance and superintendent as well, and the rest of the team, is beginning to think a little bit more proactively about professional development for classified staff. I think it's all too often that we don't really think about the ongoing professional development that we could provide for classified staff, specific to their work and classifications most of the time, but also sometimes more globally, interpersonal skills, those types of things. So we're really hoping to begin to think about what that can look like and build that out this year for hopefully a big launch, maybe in the spring if we're really aggressive, but most likely for the 25-26 school year. That's pretty crazy to say that, right? I do have a meeting already set up with SEIU. I think Rob will be up here sometime in very early August, and I'm looking forward to that preliminary meeting. And we're in communication with CSEA and setting up a time where we can get together with them and again to begin to build those relationships and understand each bargaining team's kind of desired outcomes, needs, goals, and how we can again partner and really be effective to make sure that our employees are happy, functioning very high, working at a very high level, and at the end of the day, really understand that everybody in the organization is here to support students. And I think sometimes that gets lost, particularly with some of our classified staff that aren't at schools, because everything we do ultimately supports student achievement and the way kids feel about schools, as well as our staff feels about the schools. So definitely looking forward to building those relationships and again working to be really effective as we move through the 24-25 school year and beyond. Rachel mentioned the new employee orientation, and that's something, again, I know this year we might not get as much classified participation as I would like, but I really want to, as we move forward, begin to make sure that's something that classified staff is really incorporated in and is welcomed by superintendent, personnel commission, board of education, executive cabinet, et cetera. So I think it's important to kind of bring people in and make them feel excited to be here and excited to be part of the team. So a lot of stuff going on. I'm really excited about the team in general. It's a great group of folks. We've sat yesterday, was it Tuesday, for a little over 2 hours, and really kind of got a feel for what everybody's doing, and again how that beginning to understand the interconnectedness here in this office, but also our connectedness to particularly business services. It's a very intertwined relationship. So just But that's, there's a lot of stuff going on, and just excited again to be here and grateful for the opportunity, so. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. And have you been able to attend any of the board meetings yet, or?
Not yet, no,
Okay.
because I just started last week. I think there's a study session later in July,
Yeah,
but then I don't think they start to back up
That's what I
until
can remember, yeah.
late
Yes.
August is the first board meeting.
Mhm. Great, well, welcome,
Thank you.
happy to have you. All right, commissioners, anything to report?
Nope.
No? I don't think I have anything either. So, we will move on to 2.06, update of the classification review.
Okay, so, now that we finished that first cycle of the proposed and approved timeline for me to do some reviews, I just wanted to give you an update as to where we are at this point and what the course is moving forward. So from May 1st to July 1st, I've gone out and I've met with 37 different employees individually, done the desk audit as prescribed, that we talked about the entire process, the observations of them in their positions. And it's been a very rewarding experience. It's been extremely positive feedback from staff. We've had such great collaboration between our union partners, between our classified managers, our site administrators, the staff that I'm actually meeting with. And they're recommending to, like, well, I have another IA that you should meet with, and they know this and they know that. And so it's been truly great. The partnership between everybody across the board has been so productive and just like very smooth transition. So I've met with these 37 people. We talked a little bit before about what the process would be, and I linked some of these things so that you could see exactly what this experience is as I'm going out to meet with these people. So Greg, if you'll open that first one. So this is the position analysis questionnaire. So we can just kind of quickly scroll through it. I take hard copies of this with me because I don't like to click clack while I'm sitting in front of people. So the first page kind of gets just their basic information so that I know who to follow up with. And then each of the survey breaks the job description down by its components. Mm-hmm. So the job summary, distinguishing job characteristics is, if you're a custodian 1 and there's a custodian 2, what do you think is the key difference between yours and the classification that's in your same series? It goes through interactions with students, interactions with the general public, admin, all of that stuff. Are you providing information to them? Are you collecting? Are you the one doing contracts? It's a very detailed questionnaire. As we continue through, it goes through into the level of supervision. So if you, off the top of your head, if you're remembering what our job descriptions look like, this is, over that supervision section and how much they receive. The next section below that is how much they're exercising over staff and what that means to them, what that includes. As we continue down through here, it starts to get pretty granular and is very interesting. So computation abilities, documents and things related to what they're doing. As we keep going down, computer and software skills, some of these we are omitting, and I'm discussing with that. I'm making sure that that's okay with them and their supervisor in advance. So for example, I met with Chris Bonin this morning. And so when we're talking about like the ground workers, like, are you okay if I omit this section that's not applicable to their job description? And then when I go out and meet with the actual ground, like, just full transparency, do you feel like this is omittable? I don't want to waste this is already a long survey, so I don't want to waste your time on things that don't matter. And that's been great. People are like, yeah, no, that's fine, skip it. So continuing down, but obviously our clerical series, that will be more applicable. As we continue down through, so these are the tasks and frequencies. So I use this during the observation period. So I'm observing them for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what their classification is and what they're doing. Just writing down tasks that I'm seeing. And then as we sit down together, I'm saying, okay, so I noticed that you sat for one-on-one group instruction with a group of 4 students. Like, how often are you doing that on a weekly basis, on an hourly basis? And then getting some more of those details. The next section goes through the KSAs, and so this is more open forum for them to tell me if you came into the position as an instructional aide, what do you think it would be so vital to have basic knowledge of, and the physical ability to, the mental ability to. So we're going through that. What skills do you think are essential to have to be successful? Do you think they're essential to start, or is it something that you should be able to obtain within 6 months of probation? And just kind of getting through and trying to figure out what those minimum qualifications for screening should look like as we continue
Just a
down.
quick question,
Yeah.
sorry. If we scroll back up to the tasks,
Mm-hmm.
if, or the knowledge, if they
Mhm.
didn't, do something there during that 20 to 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and you didn't observe it when you're talking, can they tell you about something else that they do?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we have the job description with us, and
Gotcha,
so that
okay.
has their base thing. They go through, and then if there's anything that they let me know, like, this isn't in my job description, but I actually do this and I do it
Mhm.
like at least twice a week and it's part of it, then that blank section is where I'm adding that in to include something as well.
Right, or you did
But
something on July 1st, there were no students there for you to observe,
Right.
but they wanna be able to tell you about
they
that.
wanna be able to
Okay.
tell me that it is a regular part of their
Great.
duties.
Thank
Yep.
you.
And so as we continue going down, so this is the education section. What level do you think you need to have had? What are the minimum years of experience and or education that you want to have in there?
Is that
Licenses.
entry level, is that when you're saying level of
I'm asking for all of them, and so it's for them to tell me whether we find that,
yeah,
what's legally appropriate, but all of them tell me, and I've had, some considered entry level positions saying like, yeah, it would be so much more helpful if you had at least some vocational training and at
Okay.
least this. And so that would bring you a different caliber person, because this is technically entry level, but because it's so specialized, this is what I would ideally like. Whether we adopt that or not is for us to review as we go through. But this is for them to just tell me what they think. They're the experts in the field, they're the ones that know the gig, and so they tell me, and frequently it is a little different. We're like, no, you don't really need a high school diploma to do what I'm doing. I don't think that should be required, but this is what I think it should be. It should be at least this much experience. And so it's pretty open forum, just for them to share what they feel. Ability to speak in different languages or write in them. This gets into the working conditions and the physical requirements of it and what they think is safe and attainable for the position. As we continue down, we're getting towards the end here. So this is where it gets very, very granular, and this has been everybody's favorite questions by far as I go out, because they are so specific that people are like, I don't know if I've ever had to use multi-limb coordination in my position. What an odd thing to ask me. And I let all of them know in my kind of warm-up pitches I'm sitting with them. We use this for all classifications. So some of these things are gonna 100% make sense to you. And you're like, yeah, I obviously need near visual acuity. I do it every day. I'm sitting here and I'm analyzing things. I'm an analyst. That's what I do. And some of these where it's asking you if you need multi-limb coordination, being able to move your foot and your arm simultaneously, like, well, I guess, so it's okay if it doesn't apply. This is for our custodians, our food service delivery drivers that are operating lifts and things, and it's for our executive assistants that are sitting in an office. So there's a accompanist. There's a question here that asks about non-speech sound discrimination, so the ability to tell between like a G flat and an E sharp is the example that they give, and people are like, who could that possibly be for? Our accompanist is who that would be for. So and then scrolling down, the next one is about their mental abilities. So that first section is physical abilities, the next one is mental abilities, written comprehension, information ordering, deductive reasoning, things like that. Visualization is where it's going, and then it's at the end. And we just kind of go through, and if you want to close out of this one and go to that next hyperlink.
A quick question on that one. Is this a new form?
It is a revised form.
Okay.
So we had one from CODES for a long time. It was a little dated, so I used the same template from CODES, but then I worked with Paul Dynas from Fullerton to see what they're using, since they did that big reclassification study as well. So Paul shared his version with me, and they're a little bit bigger than us. So I took some of that away. Like, we don't do the reclassification for the charter school, like Bellevue, Santa Fe, and things like that. We don't co-sign them for that. So I took those specific things out, but the rest of it is
Okay.
same system, different form, yeah, it's got it. So this is a reclassification questionnaire. So when I sit with them, I give them a folder and it includes this and it includes their job description. It includes my card, so they have my contact information. And what I explain to them is, I'm gonna go through a very detailed questionnaire with you and we're gonna spend some time really getting into the weeds of your job description. Guaranteed 20 minutes after I leave, no matter how long we talk about this, you're going to remember something that you wish you would have told me. And that's okay. This isn't your only shot to tell me what you need to tell me about this job. You can email me, you can send me whatever it is, you can scribble a note, an interdistrict mail, whatever works, I'll get it, I'll still take it. This survey is completely optional. So this is just for if you feel like there was other things and you just can't think of them. This is meant to kind of prompt you to think about your job description. It's a condensed version of the really long questionnaire that we're going to go through today. And so it's just meant to like prompt you and really think about like, okay, what is it that I do? And that way when it's quiet and you have your own thoughts to yourself and you're not worried about your classroom behind you, you can jot down some notes if you feel it's appropriate and send it to me. There's a second section for supervisor validation that's also completely optional. You can send me just yours. You can do yours and then take it to James McMillan at Los Ranchos and say, hey, this is what I thought about the Para series. Am I totally off base? Do you have time? Do you want to make some notes about it? And they can fill it out and they can send it to me as well. Or you can never think of me again after I leave this room and do as you please. Whatever is most comfortable for you. And so I leave this with them as an optional document for them to take a look at and fill in if they would like to. If we close this one and go back. So the tracking sheet for the classification review, so this is a shared document that you guys all have access to, that our union partners have access to, that my staff has access to, all of our classified managers. So it has the main timeline that we talked about and that you guys approved early on. And then if you click the next tab down there at the bottom, this is the instructional support and the food and nutrition services. So this is this tab no longer is, but it's a very fluid living document. So for example, for food nutrition services, I went out and had a meeting with Erin Primer. We talked about what this process is going to be. I really want to make sure that I'm front loading classified managers with what the process is and equally importantly, what it is not, so that everybody has reasonable expectations. We go over what kind of employees that I'm looking to meet with. I want to meet with somebody from each classification. I want at least 2. If there's somebody that's really struggled, I want to meet with them. If there's somebody who's killing it, I want to meet with them. I really want a good juxtaposition of different levels of understanding of the position, if feasible. Sometimes you have a classification where there's just one guy, and so that's what I'm meeting with. We share these with the union partners so that they could contribute as well. April Stover was super collaborative and offered us some suggestions in the instructional support field. I know Rob will be collaborative as we move into the next phase because that's going to be more his side of the house. That's going to be our SEIU folks with Chris. But that's this document, and then in July we'll start setting up all of the meetings with Mr. Bonin and getting everybody dialed in. If you close this one, in the next area, so these are just the people I wanted to thank. So these are all of the people that I've met with and have taken their very precious time to sit with me and share with me about their job and send recommendations and very lovely notes, and they've been fantastic. So it was I very much appreciate the opportunity getting to meet with these folks and hear about their job descriptions and get feedback from them. And then next will be the BG&T job series. So like I said, I met with Mr. Bonin this morning. We were here bright and early, and he was extremely proactive. So what our plan is for the BG&T series, in the name of time and him being gracious and with me. So he's gonna help me coordinate. We're just gonna do like 2 full days back to back because he has the most classifications in that series. So that one was gonna be really tight. And he's just gonna schedule his people around so that I can be on site, we can do our interviews, they can go back out to their site, and then just rotate people in. So we're gonna do all of custodial through crew chief, and he'll bring the coast people here so that we can do the interview process. And then when I do the site visits for observations, it can be, I'm not taking them from their active work to sit with me for an hour and go through this process. So I was very, very appreciative of that idea. Credit to Christopher, that was his idea. I didn't think that was possible, and so I very, very much appreciate that. I think that's gonna be wonderful, and so that'll be the next phase, and then I'll update you guys in September once that process is done.
I think, to me, I think that they would be highly appreciative also to have an opportunity to go into that much detail about what you're doing. I don't think many people get that opportunities
Yeah.
in any job, so.
I've gotten very, very touching, very kind, communications back from staff. So yeah, I think all around this was our goal, this is what we talked about, we wanted a more personal touch before we adopted anything final. EMS did a lot of things right and we're great with a lot of things. But something that's this personal to employees, we wanna make sure that we're treating with care as well. And so that's been, I think that intention has been understood and appreciated from our staff, so that's been nice.
Thank you for that update, that's a huge
Yes.
thing. So, I'm glad it's going positively. Great, thank you. All right. 2.07, review the commission goals for 24, 25. I can't
Yes.
even think of 25, 26,
No.
25 is
You said that, I was like,
enough, gosh. So, if we open up 24, 25, I've just copied the 23, 24 and put them in there so that we can revise them. And so all of our top stuff is just our guiding principles, so we don't really change those, but as we get down to the bottom here. So I did this as an information, presentation, action discussion item, so that we have some flexibility. So if we just want to discuss it today, then we can always bring it back for a vote later. If we want to discuss it today and we're like, we pretty much cracked that on the first shot and go ahead and adopt them, then we can incorporate them and we can take them at the same time to the board meeting to present the annual report. So, and that's also in the scenario that we also approve the annual report. So,
Do we need to be looking at 24, 25, not 23, 24?
they're the same thing.
Okay,
So
well,
we can check,
I mean,
yeah,
if you were gonna be
if we're
editing
gonna be
them.
editing,
Yeah, I don't care.
So, and I can go and retitle them in Google, it's
Okay.
fine.
You're
But,
open to 24, 25?
It's all right, don't worry about it. So our first goal from this last year was to conduct site visits to review programs and positions within the district. And we were able to do that. Some of it was limited this year, but we were able to do that and that was fantastic. Is that a goal that you guys would like to continue into 24, 25?
I like that goal. I mean, I think it's
It's a good
important
goal.
and helpful for us to get out there and get that much more
Familiar.
familiar and an opportunity for staff to, or classified staff to.
Because how many did we do? 3?
This last year specifically, we only did one in this last calendar
Oh,
year.
so
We
it
went
was
out
the
to
year
Morro Bay
before
High.
that we did
But
it.
it was right at the end of the year before that we did Slow High and I Innovate at Sinsheimer and a couple things,
So we
so.
only did one, yeah.
Yeah, I had to really go back when I was doing the annual report. I swear we did that more recently. Oh my gosh, no, that was the long.
Yeah, so we should continue it.
I think so. I think that's a great goal.
Conduct an annual performance evaluation of the Director of Human Resources. I obviously vote to amend the title to our Assistant
Yes.
Superintendent. Or more in alignment with our rule book, probably our Director of the Personnel Commission for our intents and purposes would probably be the more appropriate title there. I can be editing this piece.
Yeah.
I don't think we get to forego that goal, so I assume that we're adopting
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Coordinate with EMS on the development and implementation of the class and compensation study findings. I think we can remove that goal. My recommendation would be that we coordinate with our union partners and executive leadership on the implementation of the job description revisions.
Sounds good.
So you wanna cross this one out? Or you
Yes.
wanna edit it?
We can edit it. I have an original.
Okay. So, do you wanna do?
I'm gonna do it. I gotta move in a minute. All right. And then while I'm doing that, do you guys wanna discuss, so the next one says conduct position analysis reviews annually with a focus on the newly created positions and their relationships within the district. So that was obviously kind of directly related to the EMS
Yeah.
study, but maybe you guys wanna collaborate a little on what the position analysis timeline should be. So best practices like every 3 years, but like how we split that out. As opposed to you're doing like so that it's not like every 3 years we're doing them in mass, kind of how we're doing them right now.
Right.
But what do you guys think of a annual timeline, triannual timeline?
Yeah, and that's different from what you're doing right now.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. And so do we wanna do them in lump every 3 years? In alignment with the reclassification rules of Ed Code 45208? Or do we want to break it into smaller chunks?
I would stagger it. I think
Mhm.
staggering it would make more sense. It's a lot to try to do.
Right.
Alright. Alright, our next one is increase recruitment efforts for classified staff members and implement strategic recruitment plans.
I think you guys have kind of got a handle on that.
Good
Yeah.
job.
We've gotten better. I think there's still room for growth. That's something, candidly, that in the staff meeting and throughout this last week with Mr. Buccia, and I've really appreciated the fresh lens and new eye on, because we have made leaps and bounds from like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
right? That we've done way more proactive recruitment. Our vacancies are down. It got pretty dire there post-pandemic. But I do think that he's already brought so many great ideas that I can feel it in the room when we were in the staff meeting, that my staff was like, yes, like that's what we're talking about. That would be great. Like that's so I do think that there's still room for improvement here. So what the phrasing should be, I'm not sure if we want to get more specific or what that would be.
And I guess I could kind of just briefly share some of the things that I like to do with the team. I think, utilizing technology to be a little bit more swift with the process, if you will, allowing online testing, because what we do, one of the big hurdles, people apply for a position with the district, they have no idea that we're a merit district, and we're like, oh, you gotta come in for a test, and they're like, okay, then they start, we get 10 people signed up for a test and 2 people show up because they're like, this isn't the interview, this isn't, where you're kind of coming in. So there's so many steps. So one of the things would be, particularly for our larger classifications, that are maybe a little bit more entry level, that would be appropriate. I'd like to look at some of there are tools out there that we'll definitely be able to bring back when we go to the CSPCA. There's some really great tools out there for conducting online interviews, for allowing candidates to actually record an interview at their leisure, and then the hiring committee can watch them at their leisure. So that's another tool. I definitely like to partner with, and the team has already started to, but partner with some of our local agencies as well as our adult school to start doing not job fairs, but hiring fairs, where we can utilize online testing so people could test beforehand. We know that we've got a pool of candidates who've already passed the test. We can come in and we can do the oral boards in real time, and actually even potentially make offers for employment in real time. So just, we'd have, say say we're looking to hire paras. We'd have principals in the room, we'd have the special ed team, they'd be in the building. Folks could come in who've already tested. And then we could go right into interviews, the oral boards, and if people are successful, we could make an offer of employment on the spot. So I think it would be behoove us to just, again, maintain our alignment to merit policies and merit practices with fidelity, but at the same time kind of modernize our practices. So, and the team has some great ideas as well of things that they'd like to implement. So we'll start to kind of coagulate that all together and come up with a really cohesive plan to bring back and to begin to implement. We're obviously kind of at the end of, with classified staff, you're hiring year round. It's a little different from the certificated side, but the summer's always a very busy time. So we're gonna try to get over the hump of getting everybody hired now, but then as we get into the fall, really begin to look at tools and options.
So do we wanna make that a goal for that, something about using technology in the hiring process?
She just
Yeah.
Oh,
updated
you
that,
just
yeah.
put it in there, I didn't look at it,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, got it, okay.
Yeah, I think, cause you're right, that's gonna continue to be something that we've gotta work on and be creative with and
Yeah, well, in particular, you're talking, food services is an area where, again, you want me to do what? And then they can just go down to McDonald's and
Right.
they're behind the grill the next day.
Right.
So it's kind of, it behooves us. And it also behooves us to also help people understand the advantage of working
Yeah.
in public education because of the potential benefits,
The benefits.
retirement,
Yeah.
health benefits, et cetera. So that's something we'll work on. I know a lot of 18 and 20-year-olds don't care about that, but you never know.
Older people do.
Yes.
So that's the end of our previous goals for revision. Are there any additional or new goals that you guys would like to propose?
I know in the past, when we've had a new
Yeah, I was gonna say.
director of the personnel commission, we've put something in there about
Smooth transition or some kind of a
right,
transitional
Support
process or
support the transition of the new director of the personnel
effectively
commission
together or some such
and
thing,
encourage professional development.
yes, that sounds fantastic. Are you good with something like that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Did it go down?
It's on the next
Okay,
page,
I was
sorry.
like, oh, you're typing your heart out.
I hate to tell you, but you're wasting your time, it's not working. And Mr. Puccio does plan to attend the Merit Academy this year. And we also, they haven't set the date yet, but we do have the CSPCA conference. And we did have our classified technician express interest in joining in, so Elisa Rady.
Yeah.
So we always try to encourage any of our personnel commission staff to attend, because it is a very robust conference, it's great. And do we wanna, I didn't love ensure appropriate professional development, but I forgot what I said originally. Do you
Encourage.
guys want some, there we go.
Encourage, yeah.
Okay, any other goals that we'd like to?
I hate to do too many, and that seems like a healthy
It's a lot on our,
amount,
a lot on the plate.
so I think
Okay.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Alright,
So do you need a motion to approve?
I need a motion to approve.
I would just add at the end of that one, the last one, to ensure a smooth transition or something like that.
Do we like that one?
Yes.
Alright. All right, I need a motion.
I will make a motion that we approve the 24-25 Personnel Commission goals.
And I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for doing those.
So you can't get it on a single page, you know. We're
I
working
can
on that.
change the format. I'll fix
Yeah.
the header later.
Alright.
The header's ridiculous.
Alright,
Okay. Next one, 2.08 approval of the annual report of the PC.
you open it up.
Yes, please. All right, so here's our first draft of the Personnel Commission Annual Report for the 23-24 school year. So it still includes staff from obviously the relevant year. As we go down, this is kind of our baseline information. The introduction stuff doesn't really change. We can keep scrolling. We can brag about our wonderful commissioners very quickly. So our chairperson, Ms. French, our vice chair, Ms. Myers, and our commissioner, Ms. Wan. So we have not added any new things to this section. Is there any things that you guys would like to add to your relevant section?
I no longer work at Cal Poly.
Oh,
I work for the issue.
I didn't even know that. Did I know?
I've already been on here almost 3 years.
It's like, I know.
All right.
12 for
Let
me.
reopen this.
Wow, that's gone fast.
Okay. Currently works in, what's your field of specialty?
System-wide HR.
System-wide HR.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still specialize in software implementation?
Sure, we can start with that. Emotional support animals probably not appropriate.
It can be, it's your bio, it
That's what
can
it
be what
is.
you want it to be. Okay, all right, Miss French, is anything about your section?
Nah, I'm all good. Thank you.
Miss Iwan, is
That's
anything about
fine,
your section
fine.
that you have to do?
I just don't want Cal Poly to get blamed for anything I do.
Okay, so these were our goals from 22-23. We can keep scrolling down. We just reviewed those together. And we'll go down to commission activities. Okay, so we were busy bees this last year.
This section is so much more robust.
Robust.
It's like, oh my gosh.
We were very busy. So the commission approved clarifying language for the food service job descriptions, entry-level positions to communicate in English. And this replaced existing language that proved to be a barrier. And in our lovely letters that we received from these folks, life-changing job opportunity provided to 3 substitute food service workers one who had been for 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, only eligible to be substitute food service worker, one's with us because of this barrier. And so they are all 3 still currently employed, thriving and doing wonderful under Erin Primer. Following public hearing, we adopted our 23-24 budget. And this was the 315-740, so we had a little bit of our contract from EMS left over at the time. So moving forward, it should be a little less crazy. Education Management Solutions, EMS concluded their classification and compensation study and made formal recommendations regarding the structure of SLCUSD. They reviewed 12 comparable districts across the state against our current structure, and of the 80 positions reviewed, 49 were within 5%, 23 came in as 5% or more above market, and only 9 positions came in as 5% or more under market. There were 21 positions that were recommended to be reclassified in total based on the job duties identified during the classification review process. And so for clarification for public record, so 9 came in as under market. We went with 21 in total to maintain the internal equity of the positions that those were tied to in their classification series. So on our October 17th, 2023 meeting, on October 17th, findings report was presented to the commission, and our October 25th meeting, a vote was recommended to adopt those 21 recommended actions. And we placed them at their new compensatory ranges based on the data provided by EMS. It was unanimously supported by the Board of Education at the following meeting and was adopted immediately. Once that classification and compensation study was closed and all of the recommendations were adopted by the Commission and the Board of Education, the Commission created a procedure and guidelines for district staff that wish to appeal the adopted recommendation findings. And this guideline consisted of them needing to be able to provide evidence of an impactful error that could have influenced the basis of the recommendation. And so we left it pretty broad of what that evidence could be. To this date, we've not had anybody provide evidence supporting an erroneous recommendation. So prior to adopting all the job descriptions, so the classification compensation study closed, they gave us the recommendation for the job descriptions. Prior to adopting them, the commission directed the analyst to conduct a review and audit of all the classifications to ensure accuracy before the end of the year. So that is currently in progress. We also created a new classification for the college and career pathway specialist. This was approved in order to serve unique needs of Pacific Beach High School. The commission approved accelerated hiring rates for the following positions: mechanic, licensed nurse, payroll specialist, paras 1, 2, and 3, and the bus driver classifications. We revised Rule 5.1 to include language that all candidates will be evaluated based on their merit in the examination process. And any application materials will not be provided to the oral board panel members. Applications will be screened to determine eligibility and then provided to the hiring panel. This rule was revised to ensure that any unconscious bias is removed from the oral examination. We also revised Rule 11.1 regarding the impact of an accelerated hiring rate on existing employees. So it's revised to include the language that for incumbent employees, initial step increase, revised anniversary date will be applied 6 months or 130 days, whichever is longer, after the step advancement effective date to maintain alignment of the salary equity between incumbents and newly hired employees. Whew. All right, Rachel Robinson Bang attended the 23-24 CSPCA conference on behalf of the commission. Jen Myers was reappointed as the classified employee of the Personnel Commission. Ms. Myers accepted the appointment and has agreed to faithfully serve in her role as the representative of employees in the classified service. Jen Myers also attended some union meetings. She went to the CSEA union meeting and has been working alongside our union president, April Stover, to identify and address classified staff concerns. The commission visited Morro Bay High School on a site visit to see the progress of the Measure D construction, site improvements. Mr. Scaldi graciously hosted a tour of the site and gave the commission updates on current and future projects. The commission, in partnership with the executive leadership and the Board of Education, created a new human resources technician position. Lindsay Bond was hired in this position and has passed probation, is still serving the district. The commission approved a new classification for the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources and partnered with the executive leadership team in order to run a recruitment for this new position. The commission reviewed the existing language within the commission rules and replaced all language that specifically references the Director of Human Resources with the Director of the Personnel Commission for clarity and continuity. Dan Block announced that he would be stepping down from the HR Commission Directorship at the end of the 23-24 school year after 3 years of dedicated service in the position. And Greg Puccio was hired as the new Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources / Personnel Commission Director. Mr. Puccio officially started with us as of July 1st, 2024. You may have the longest job title in the history of San Luis School District. Our employee organization membership has not changed, so our leadership is still the same. for 23-24 and 24-25. Rob Perry can update you guys in future ones, but some of our union leadership will be changing. So for 23-24, it was the same. So very busy year if you are an analyst like myself and are looking at what this data means and the quality of people that were coming through. So we've been slowly kind of ad hoc revising our written examinations as we've been addressing, those new job descriptions we adopted, then we're addressing new testing and new oral board questions and kind of refining all of that process and the benefit of revising those job descriptions. So total applications that we received is 491. Written exams that we've conducted is 63. Candidates tested is 155. Candidates passing 126. Oral exams 91. Number of candidates total 241. Interviewed 211. And then we're getting down to new hires, and the alignment is throwing me off completely. But new hires 86 in classified service, and then the number of regular classified employees is 479. Limited term appointments or out of class appointments is 41, and the summer school appointments processed is 189. So when you get into this data, it's that we just had success with the executive assistant position and revising the testing and the exams, and we have really been able to do what Merit System is designed to do and really only bring the most qualified people to that top 3 hiring interview. And so it's been appreciated by our classified management, our executive leadership in this most recent recruitment. So the volume is not gone. We definitely have less vacancies. We're getting people still applying, but it has become a little more rigorous, especially for those higher level positions, as opposed to the flexibilities that we allowed for the entry level positions. We want to give everybody a shot, but when you get into those higher level, more complex positions, we want to make sure that we're setting people up to be successful. All right, and that's
A lot of work the staff has done. I mean, huge amounts. So thank you
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
to everyone.
We'll pass it along. Hopefully they're still on there listening.
It's huge. Seems like every year there's more and more put on the plates and everybody's just nailing it. It's great. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything else they?
Are we approving this today?
We can.
If you wouldn't mind scrolling back up, I
Yep.
think on the dates for the budget, I just wanted to look
Yeah.
at that again.
Oh, was it the wrong year?
24, 25, it said.
I think did you change it?
I changed it in real
I thought
time.
you changed it.
2334.
Oh,
Oh, good one.
And then I have a question, and this
Thank you
is-
for that,
This is
Jen.
my own ignorance, but did we approve last year's budget in June of this June?
No, last year's, sorry,
June of 22.
2023.
Was it June of 23?
23.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I wasn't sure,
Okay.
I,
No, you're
cause
good.
you know how sometimes we revisit things, but I just wanted to ask about that. So, but otherwise it looks really good, tons of hard work by you and
Yeah.
and your team, thank
For
you
the
so much.
23-24 year.
And then the formatting,
Yeah, we tweaked.
wonkiness.
Yeah, we'll fix it. Moving it into Google, it took some things weird.
Yeah.
That's also what happened with the dates and all the typos. That's with Google, so weird.
And that one, we didn't have to revise the budget, it was for this.
Yeah, this year we had to
one
revise the budget.
Yeah, okay. It all looks fantastic to me. Any comments or questions,
Mhm.
other
Well, I mean,
things?
a lot of work.
No, it's
See, a
great.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion?
It's our annual report. I move that we approve the annual report to the board for Personnel Commission for this school year 2023-24.
I was like,
All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, so question on those, or on that, so
You are gonna have to present it.
yes.
Mhm.
So I have one request, or I know the board sometimes will ask me some questions and I'm wondering if they're gonna ask some questions about since it was such a big thing, the EMS.
Mhm.
So I don't know if
Do you want me
anybody else
Do you want me
will
to be there?
be there
Yeah.
or just in case I can't
Answer the question.
I
a
gotcha.
question.
Yeah, and so would
Sometimes
you?
Chris Unger will.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Buckman.
I have to, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be there with you. And just extra set of hands with information is needed. Would you like to take this to the August meeting, or would you like to take it to a later meeting?
When is the August meeting?
The August meeting is. August meeting is written on my board and not on my calendar.
Would it be?
I believe it's the 13th, but let me take a look.
I will be out of town.
Okay. We can go.
Does that mean the next one's the 27th? Cause I'm also out of town. August is a
Okay.
little wired. I might be able to make the 13th work.
It is not. Oh, is it the 20th, Greg? Is that the next one?
Waiting for it to spin up here for me.
Oh, I could do the 20th.
I have your calendar open, but it just is busy. But I'm gonna assume that that's chunk in that chunk is. I'm gonna say August 20th.
There we go.
Let's see.
We have a meeting on, with the blue, August 20th is the first meeting of the board. There's a study session on the 8th, and then the next meeting will be September 3rd or the 17th.
So I could do the 20th.
The 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm in town, I will go with you. I will not speak, but I will go.
Oh, yeah, cool. It's easy. Yeah, so I don't quite go into as much detail, but what I do is highlight like 3 or 4 things on there. So I would probably highlight the EMS study just because that was a big thing, but I don't know that I can speak to all the
Details.
the fun
Nitty-gritty of it.
No.
Yeah, so that'll work for me.
Okay.
20th. Okay. So let's see, we approved that. 2.09 approval of accelerated hiring rate on continuous recruitments.
All right, so like I said, we had a classified meeting about this week to really think about the impact of accelerated hiring rate, what we need, what's still out there. So staff came to the recommendation that they would like to extend the current accelerated hiring rates that we already have in place for the para 1, 2, and 3, and also for the bus drivers. So the paraeducators, you guys will see in the report of testing later in the agenda, we have about 30 vacancies left for paraeducators, but we do still have, primarily the goal is all those outside agency people. We have some people that are in transition coming into regular district employees. So we don't feel comfortable pulling the rug out from under them that it was advertised at the accelerated hiring rate, but just because they were waiting through the process that they come in at something different. So we want an opportunity to close the loop on everybody in process, and staff was confident that we can finish that by the end of September. Same deal for the bus drivers. So we have 5 vacancies for bus drivers. So that bus ad was great and it closed a lot of the gap. But we still have some people that are they've already done, been on board. We start them as subs so that they can do the driving hours and the driving school, but they're not officially employees yet. So if we don't continue it, then they would start and it would be at a different rate than was advertised when they applied for the job. So we want to make sure that we can just close the loop on those things. So it would be an extension of the current accelerated hiring rate up to step 6 for those 2 series on a continuous basis through September 2024.
Sorry, I'm just looking at. Okay, so you need a motion. Anybody have any questions or concerns with what's being proposed?
I do not.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I will make a motion that we approve the accelerated, I can't read that far. That we approve the extension of the accelerated hiring rates for the paraeducator and bus driver series through September 30th, 2024. You need to give that to me every time. That's much easier.
Second, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, good catch, that makes sense.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, 2.10, approval of the minutes from our meeting of May 24th.
Do I review the minutes?
Wow, is that when we met?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I miss you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because we saw each other in June.
Yeah, we did.
That's right, but it's been, long time, okay. So yes,
Yeah.
going back to those. Any comments or questions on, or changes to those minutes? Or do I have a motion?
I thought they looked good.
Pardon, I think it's
I
fine.
thought they looked good.
Yeah, okay.
I move that we approve the minutes from the May 24th Personnel Commission meeting.
I will second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And I closed the agenda.
I've done that so many times, I just did it at the exact same time you did.
Give me 1 second, sorry about that. Let's see. Here we go. We'll go to,
We're on to 2.11.
I think it's. Sorry. Is this today, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Easy peasy, popped right back up.
All right,
So we're
two
item
point one one,
2.11.
yep, personal action items.
So you can just open up the links and we can semi-quickly scroll through
That
them.
was a dizzying report.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't say it enough. My staff, the HR staff, they're just plowing through stuff. They are on fire this year. We're in our 410 schedule. Everybody's a little sleep deprived, everybody is taking Tylenol because of the noise pollution out here. They are trying to balance, having time to, be people and take some time with their families, but still just crushing it and just working on a really high level, and getting these things processed. So extremely impressive. Elisa Rady, Lindsay Bond, Lupe Segura, Tracy Moreno, Brittany Schultz, Michelle Chapman-Scria, all of the team, just fantastic all the way around.
So what, I need to scroll through it or?
Yeah, we can just quickly scroll through the bottom. The top is the certificated portion. And we get down into extra duty and that behemoth,
That
what it is.
Mhm.
Yes.
Does Brittany do all of those?
Brittany doesn't do extra duty, so that ugly summer school one that you see, that is entirely Brittany Schultz.
Okay,
Extra duty is kind of a two-hander between
Okay.
Lindsay Bond and Lupe Segura. And then, Elisa supports as needed because
Yeah.
it used to be on her desk,
Yeah,
so it really is. And then also Greg, and so he's signing all the offer letters and they're vetting the amount, so because rightly so, we increased all the safety measures, our pillars of safety program, so it's a much more rigorous process to become a coach for SLCUSD, but that means that it's also a lot of work, so they're very
Yeah.
impressive for getting these done.
So yeah, that's a lot. And it's ongoing,
Those are crazy,
Yes.
yeah.
so anybody wanna see anything specifically here or?
Now we can close that one and open up the next one. Here we go.
So I'm getting used to this,
Yeah,
scrolling the
scrolling
wrong
the
way.
opposite way,
Mhm.
yeah.
Come on,
Alright, there it is. Yep, a lot of familiar names on here as we scroll through. And as we get down to the assignments. That's okay. And limited terms and more extra duty.
I know it's off topic, but how is certificated recruitment, are they looking for next year?
Certificated recruitment is, it's good for where we're at in the year. There's always a handful that we're kind of sweating right up until the 11th hour, usually are hard to fill things, sped, bilingual, our DLI sites. So we have a plan for all of them. And it's just executing that plan in a timely manner. So yeah, certificated is, I think this time last year, we probably would have told you that we still were worried about like 13 of them, because we were only
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a huge dip in sped, staffing. And this year I'd say it's probably 6. Like 6 are the ones that are gonna give me anxiety dreams for the next 2 weeks. But we have a plan, and I think we'll be all right. We're actually recruitment across the board. The girls have been really
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
We're in a good spot.
Good.
And if you'll click to the very last tab down there, you'll have the arrow all the way past. And June. Here we go. All right, so instructional aid is reoccurring, custodian is also reoccurring, and everybody is off their calendar and doing summer experience. So oral board panels are challenging, but I think that Elisa's already actually closed out her IA. So by this time for our next report, we'll have an update on these.
All right, thank you for that. Advanced agenda items. Do we have anything that needs to be on there?
So I'll add summer experience
Yeah.
as I coordinate that with Mr. Martin. Is there any, we're still building out the events calendar for this upcoming year, so we'll have a better idea of what that looks like in August. And at a meeting after that's been approved and is done, I wanted to review that more as an information item so that we can plan site visits based on some of those site events that they're doing. So we can do that in the future. Is there any other advanced agenda items that you guys would like to discuss? By the end of August, we should have the CSPCA dates.
Oh, right.
And invites. Off the top of your heads, preliminarily knowing nothing about what the timeline is, just general interest level in attending this year. Is anybody?
I would like to go, I haven't gone, it's
Right.
always conflicts with work, but
No, I'm always
if
trying to rope you in.
Right.
it doesn't conflict and I get it early enough, I can try to work around it.
It's February, right? when is it?
January most likely.
January.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass this time, I think.
Irene, are you interested in attending CSPCA this
I
year?
might be, depending on the timing of it and the.
Mr. Bashir, are you interested?
So it's not at that
I learned a
hotel in
lot
Sacramento.
from
It's in
it's
Long
not.
Beach this year, so we'll be better. That one in Long
That one
Beach,
was
that was
okay.
the one that you went to,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that one was nice.
Yeah,
And it was
that
right
was
across
good.
from the aquarium,
Yep.
it was cute. All right,
So put in our next meeting dates.
yeah, our next meeting is,
Going back to our normal time or we?
I have it on
the
the
instructional
21st.
calendar will have started, so yeah, I think we're staying at 4, and I have August 21st.
Okay.
On it. August 21st at 4 p.m. Does that still work?
I
for
think,
you?
yeah, I think did we talk about monitoring that time, and if for some reason we're still not getting anybody coming
Yes.
in, then we can
Yes.
talk about switching it back to 3:30 or,
8/21.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
8/21, correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we're-
No,
no, sure. Sorry, I don't know why I just, okay, that's not a meeting, I thought I was traveling, like, wait, That's July, I'm sorry, I apologize, I don't know where I'm kind of going
That
some
kind
days,
of day.
I apologize.
All right.
All right, well, with that, we can adjourn our meeting at 5:21 PM.